Okay, on some less controversial topics this week. Let's talk about training in space. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the HEMA Show. I, like always, have fucked it up already. This is edited by Andy, and let's get into it. So this question actually comes from Andy. Hello Andy. How can you train in a tight space? If you are lacking space and you want to train or you want to practice at home, what's the best way of doing it? Honestly, the long and the short of it is, don't do a silly sword. Don't do a long sword. Do a decent sword, a proper sword, side sword, rapier. Done. Joking. Facetious. It is tricky. It's sometimes, especially when you're new, there's like either side of the bell curve. When you're new, you're super excited, and once a week is not enough. You're just motivated. You do it at your club, and then like, I can't wait another bloody 7 days to do that. It's ridiculous. So you kind of want to practice when you're at home, or you get to the other side when you're high end, and you need to practice more than once. Once a week is just not good enough to keep up your level of skill that you need to maintain. So independent study, but more importantly, independent practice becomes essential. So how can you do it? So first and foremost, let's get the big one out of the way. By the big one, I mean longsword. There are things you can do. Now, assuming that you know what you're going to do. This isn't necessarily a guide on the things that you need to do, the moves that you need to do, the exercises that you need to do. This is more of how to, there's an assumption being made that you know what to do. It's just how to do it in a confined space. First and foremost, get one of these. Now, I don't mean the club sport feather. That is crap. But get one of these, a broken sword. There are loads of them knocking around. If you are at a HEMA club, there are chances are that you know someone with a broken sword, or your coach will have something broken knocking about. I'm looking at 2 broken swords right now. A broken sword is brilliant because it is a lot shorter than it should be. And you can do a full, I'm going to have to watch the microphone here. Sorry, Andy, I know you give me shit every time I know the microphone. But my ceiling is there. It's really not high. This is just standard, well, I mean, it's a garage that I've converted into a recording studio. It's standard garage height. I don't have a room to get into high guard here. For example, if I was to take a highline parry and bring it round, I would definitely be cutting the lights up. But here, I have a broken sword. I can get into high guard-ish. Actually, I can. If I get this side, absolutely fine. So a broken sword can be very handy for just going through positions within a confined space. And the great thing about broken swords is people tend not to want them. So you can either get one for free off of someone in your club, or incredibly cheap if they know that you're going to be using it for training. So for longsword, if you want to go through poses, positions, and plates and plays, get a broken sword. They're brilliant. Now, it's not going to help you for your distance training. So for distance, you need to do something else, which we'll come on to in a moment. But if you just want to go through cuts and parries and things like that, and just rotation of the arms and positioning of the arms, a broken blade is brilliant. Never throw away a broken sword. Realistically, you want it to be broken halfway down the moyenne. You don't want to be too far into the forte. Here, you don't want it to be at the foible, which is this one here. This is another hand weight one that went ping. This is broken pretty much at the end of the foible here, so it's a bit too long to do anything with. Whereas this one snapped in the perfect place. So it's just short enough to be really handy for training. Sorry, the microphone's going to pick this up. The microphone picked that up, everyone picked that up. So it is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Keep hold of broken swords because they are fantastic for independent training in a tight space. Cannot rate it highly enough. Keep hold of them because if another one breaks and it breaks in a better place, you can get rid of the shitter one. Job done. For distance training, obviously this is not correct distance. So if you're trying to train with distance, this is going to throw you off massively. So don't use something like this for distance training. For distance training, just use a longsword. Honestly, just set something up at the end. You don't need a huge amount of space. Use old crappy McCanway over here. It's just what I happen to have close by. Full length, bloody floppy. It's also my stripper name. But if you want to use your distance training, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to do massive cuts. You can just lunge and thrust and get used to your distance. You can be in long point and just small cuts forwards. You don't require a huge amount of space, providing there's context and a reason to what you're doing. So make sure you're just not swinging a full-size sword around for no reason, screaming there can only be one. If you want to do lovely, big, arcing movements, use a broken blade. If you want to use tight, controlled distance work and measure work, just change the way that you're doing. Lunges, long point, that sort of stuff is going to work absolutely fine. Things like rapier, I mean, you need, I'm sat, so you can't see this. I don't think you are going to be able to see this. I've converted this into a teaching and studio space. One wall is over here, another wall is over, it's about 3 meters wide. But what I've got is I've got 1 meter strip of carpet up the middle here, and it's what I teach on. You don't need anything wider than 1 meter. You really don't. As long as you've got 1 meter's width and a little bit of overhang, you know, maybe 50 centimeters either side, so a total of 2 meters width, you can do a lot of pointed work. You can do 80 to 90% of side sword or rapier, definitely rapier. You just work it forwards. If you don't have the length, then you can go outside. Just be bloody careful about who's watching. So actually, you can get away with a lot more. It's only really 2 weapons that are going to be an issue if you have a limited amount of space indoors to train in, which is the longsword, which we've gone over, and the saber. The saber is a bugger. Excuse me, Fred. Especially left-handed fencing saber. People are going to give me shit for using a fencing saber. Oh well, fuck's given. So, the problem is it will hit lights. Now, you shouldn't be hitting ceilings. You're not going to, you know, there can be only one up here. But it is just the right height for whacking a light fitting and destroying lights. Now, I know that from experience. There's a reason why there is a brand new light fitting up here. It's because I was practicing with a saber with a student the other day and smashed the living shit out of it. So light fittings are just low enough that actually saber is going to be a bit of an issue. So just be mindful. Same things work for just the longsword. If you know of a broken saber, go for that. But actually, things that really help for training, thank you, Fred. Things that really help for training with saber is just something that you can have in one hand. You only need a couple of inches to hold in your hand. Oh my God, Andy's gonna have a field day with that edit. You only need something in your hands, like a grip that you can just use and move around. You don't need anything more, because saber isn't really about the blade placement as much as whereas getting the hand in the correct place to get those parries. Even just having a fist and going through those positions, it will be better than nothing. Just be careful with the blade length. If possible, get hold of a half-length saber, like a broken one or something, or even just a length of wood that is cut to an appropriate size, just so you have something to play around with, just to make sure that your positions are right rather than being too far back on the parry, too far forward, something like that. Anyway, I hope that helps. Hope that makes you makes training at home a little bit more accessible for you guys. Anyway, let me know how that goes. See you later. Hello and welcome to, hello, fucking cockney for a second then. Hello, governor. Jesus, worst set of chops this side of Dick Van Dyke. Oh my God, I was holding that in for that whole video.